I wake up every morning, I run every single morning, which is very uncomfortable for me. I would say a good 3 hours because I stretch out every single day, and my stretch out routine is about 2.5 hours every night for the past 5.5 years. I had a lot of health issues, so I'll touch on that for a second, why I stretch out like that. I think it will help allow a lot of people listening to this. We have a muscle called the psoas muscle. It is PSOAS, psoas. Google it, learn about it. It may save your life one day. 6 years ago, I started experiencing a lot of health issues. I went from being able to run 205 miles at one time, do pull-up records, all this kind of stuff, to not being able to get out of bed. I had these large lumps on my hip flexors and on the back of my head. And slowly but surely, this psoas muscle attaches to your T12, your thoracic spine. And that muscle started getting so tight. And how it gets tight is basically by us sitting down, like I'm sitting down right now, and also by us being under stress. So from the time you're born until the time you die, you're under a lot of stress. My whole life has been stressed. From the time I was born to me going in the military, everything I've done has been stressful. That psoas muscle, as it tightens up, it starts to yank on your spine. Starts to shut down different nerve endings, nerves going through your body, very important nerves going through your body, different things like that. And so, long story short, doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They kept on running tests. The test came back, you're not too bad, you're not too bad, you're not too feeling the way you feel. Went from running 205 miles to not being able to get out of bed. I talked to this stress therapist a long time ago. He said, man, you are so tight. You have got to start stretching out, man. You are so tight. So I thought I was just dying. I thought I couldn't go to work anymore. I talk about it in my book also. I couldn't go to work anymore. And over a period of time, I said, you know what? I'm not going to give up. That's not what I do. So if I can't run, I can't go to the gym, I can't do anything. I started going to college, started doing that. And I also started stretching out. And the more I stretched out, the more these muscles in my hip flexor started opening up, and those lumps started going away. And I shaved my head almost every morning, and I had the same pattern of shaving my head, and I go over that bump real delicate so I wouldn't cut my head. I started realizing that bump was shrinking, and I was on several different medications, and over a period of time, the medication wasn't working anymore, so I get off it. A few years later, now I'm only on one medication, and I'm soon to be coming off of that one, all from stretching out. So that's I hate it. Going back to your question, it's very miserable to stretch out for 2.5 hours a day. And it was a lot more than that when I first started stretching out because I couldn't do anything else. And so that's my discipline of life. So I'm uncomfortable at least 3-4 hours a day, I would say.
Growing up, my dad did a good job of dehumanizing me. He didn't care much how I thought or how I felt. So when I saw the military uniform when I was growing up, I thought to myself, if I can get that uniform on, I would find honor in wearing the uniform. So not only do I want to be in the military, I wanted to be in special ops. But I realized to be in special ops, you gotta know how to swim. So I got a how-to book on swimming. The first page was easy. Float. So I went to the pool, tried to float. I sank right down to the bottom. I realized I was naked and boring as hell. The more I failed, the more my father's words were creeping to my mind about how I'm not good enough. All this other said to dehumanize me. As time went on, I started realizing the more I didn't quit, the more self-respect I gained. And the power was all mine. In life, it's important to do one thing. Many people will try to dehumanize you. It's up to you to find self-respect and dignity in yourself. You don't need a uniform to have honor. You need to have pride in yourself, dignity. Stay hard. There's a distinct difference between a champion and someone who's just good. Let's use boxing, for instance. It's a 12-round championship bout. At the 11th round, they both go to the corners. Someone that's good sits there and thinks to himself, I have given everything I have. Hopefully, I can get through the 12th round. A champion, he sits in that corner while all of his people are talking to him. All he's thinking about is, I have to find what I haven't given. It's that mentality that truly separates the champions from who are just good. Stay hard.
What means the most to me is the emails I'm getting. The emails talking about how you're setting different goals, how you're leveling up, how you're finding more, how you're not feeling sorry for yourself, how you're not looking for that handout that the world's not going to give you. I'll tell you right now, wolves, a lot of wolves travel in packs. But there's some times when even the wolves in that pack don't understand who you are. You must go out there sometimes and travel alone. And even the toughest and hardest people in the world don't have any idea what you're trying to do, and that's okay. You must always look to be uncommon amongst the uncommon. Stay hard. In the race of life, life's not going to give you a glass of water when you're thirsty. And I realize that. And once again, people are like, oh God, your life is horrible. It's not. This is how I live. This is how I live. This is what I want. I don't judge anybody. This is how I live. And if there's not people like me in this world with this kind of mentality, it's not be like David Goggins. Go run 200 miles. Take something from this. Take something from this. Remember where I started from. You don't need to go where I went.
Right.
I went this far because I started opening different doors to the cellar in my brain. My God, is this possible? Oh my God, that's possible. It's possible. I started opening different compartments. You can leave them shut. I don't care. So what I do now in the morning times, I do this because my life's not going to give me to get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
And if I come on here on this podcast and talk this stuff, I have to live what I say. So when you come up from a world of used to lie a lot, and my big thing is facing all this crap, I cannot tell you something I have not done.
Right.
Because why? When you start to formulate this character, this code of ethic, this ethos that you live, not anybody else, it's your own. I cannot tell you something that I haven't done. Why? Because it will haunt me. You are now drinking the Kool-Aid. A lot of people write books on self-help, mental toughness, all this crap. Half of them are living up to that standard. Half of them are living up to that standard. You have to be able to practice what you preach. It has to be what you are. That's why when people say, my God, when you speak on stuff, it's so passionate. Because you're making me relive my life. This life was made. This life was earned. And if people like it, great. If not, so be it. At nighttime, I think about nothing. And when I'm stretching, that's my time to sit back and recharge for tomorrow. Because why? This is not, mental toughness is not a class. You get this class that they designed, eat it up one by that time, self-talk, visualization, arousal control. It's all good. It has to be a lifestyle. You work on mental callousing on a daily basis. Because even though your brain, your mind, like your brain isn't a muscle so much, you will lose it. You will lose the ability to suffer in the worst of times if you come out of it for too long. If you can lift 315 pounds and you stop going to the gym for a month, I guarantee you won't be able to pick the same weight up again. All the stories I talked about today, all the things in that book, if I went and said, I'm good, I gained all this knowledge. If I stop today, the knowledge is gone. I have to go back deep to retrieve it. I don't want to go back deep to retrieve it. I want to be able to call on it now. That's why I do these things. I know what not doing them will get me.
It's 44 degrees and it's nice and rainy outside. But no one cares about that. It's not about the rain. It's what the rain represents.
Life is always giving you a test, trying to give you a way out, trying to give you an excuse not to show up. This is my excuse today. But guess what? You gotta have the mentality to show up every day of your life, no matter what life throws at you. It's our responsibility to show up to the Coliseum of life, prepared for battle. I don't care what you're going through, what life's throwing at you. It's your responsibility to find your new 100%. Take it upon yourself to do that. Stay hard.